and a very warm welcome to the Honorable Minister, Col Rajyavardhan Rathore, for having spared his time, his precious time, from his busy schedule. A very warm welcome to you, sir. May I request Mandira to please present a bouquet and welcome the Minister. Col Rajyavardhan Rathore served in Army for 23 years. As part of his stint in Army, he held prestigious appointments and served in the anti-insurgency operations in J&K and other active areas. Col Rathore represented the country in the Olympic sports of shooting. He won 25 international medals at various championships for double trap shooting. He also has been the recipient of the silver medal at Athens Olympics in 2004. He was awarded the Padma Shri, Ati Vishishta Seva Medal, Arjun Award, and Khel Ratna Award for his exceptional services to the Army and sports. In 2013, Col Rathore took voluntary retirement from military and joined to serve the nation as a representative of the people. So he's here with us as an elected representative from the country in the 16th Lok Sabha elections and was sworn in as the Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting in November 2014. We welcome you, sir. A very warm welcome to you. To start with, let me reiterate that a book, my dear friends, is an idea, and the editors have a daunting task to actually deliver the welcome address.
Honorable Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Col Rajyavardhan Rathore, respected seniors from the Indian Information Service, colleagues from the academic world, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to have you at the book release of India Connected, Mapping the Impact of New Media, published by SAGE. On behalf of Sumitra and myself, I would like to thank the Honorable Minister for sparing time to release this book. Sir, your presence here makes a world of difference to us. Explain how to use Facebook. Besides, his question is, what is so urgent that you all keep looking at your mobile phones through the day? Those of his generation, if you remember, medium to reach out to those at the margins at just the click of a button. The sheer number of people on new media platforms in India also makes it a subject worth examining closely. Facebook itself crossed the 100 million mark in India in April 2014 and now has over 155 million users as of June 2016. Twitter has fast become the new place where news stories are broken. More newsmakers are on Twitter than on any other platform. Some of the statistics are also mind-boggling. Facebook adds 6 new profiles every second, while 6,000 tweets get posted the world over in 1 second. 300 hours of video are posted onto YouTube in 1 minute. And in one day, over 80 million photos are posted on Instagram. But on the other hand, the attention span of new media consumers has now dipped to 8 seconds, below that of a goldfish, which has an attention span of 9 seconds. However, we do hope that you will at least keep engaged with us a little longer. So not only organizations, but individual efforts also find easy popularity on new media. From Brandon Stanton of the Humans of New York fame, to our very own DRM Howrah, Mr. Badri Narayan, who's here with us. His Bollywood-themed posters on Swachhata have gone viral in the past few days, and new media is giving voice to those who went unheard till recently. But new media needs much more research and study. We need to understand the impact it is having on us and the impact it can have on us. We are grateful to our contributors who are here today and those who could not join us but are watching us live on what else but new media. and we welcome them to the deliberations. A big welcome to the team from Stage 2 and our eminent panelists. A very warm welcome to our families and friends here. They are, after all, the wind beneath our wings. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shalini. Shido has introduced the book in a manner in the welcome address, but India Connected, as I said, is an idea. What actually is India Connected and what it has in store for us? Print journalism, documentary film production, and teaching. She has been educated at the Delhi University, where she studied economics, and after that, she did her master's in telecommunications and her doctorate in mass communication. Dr. Sunitra to come up on stage and tell us what are the questions, what is in store for us in India Connected? Why is it so relevant? Please.
So I've met the conditions of an absent-minded author. I forgot my statement and my book. Honorable Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Col Rajyavardhan Rathore, distinguished guests, friends, and family. A few thoughts on the genesis of the book. Shalini and I first started working on this about 2 years ago. We've been colleagues, we've been friends, and we used to often discuss over lunch, issues about new media that we could see unfolding in front of us. But there was no frame of reference for understanding the Indian context, and there was no frame of reference for understanding the magnitude of the change. So as communication scholars, we realized that there was really nothing in the literature, at least in the Indian context, that covered this change. While there were market-based reports analyzing trends, there were no resources which examined the emergence, spread, and impact of new media in India from a broader social science perspective. In the 1990s, we witnessed an explosion in the television sector in India, fueled by liberalization. 2 decades later, New India, including the internet and mobile, have heralded a revolution. It's also been called a paradigm shift in the way Indians communicate with each other and how they relate to the world. This book has grown out of the need to document and understand these social changes associated with new media, which are often considered to be synonymous with digital media. This book is an interdisciplinary one. It's broadly located in the social sciences. A galaxy of scholars, both in India and abroad, have contributed to it. The book itself is a product of its times. A book on new media has been made possible by extensive cooperation, collaboration, getting together by the chapter authors and editors and publishers over the new media, negating geography. Some of our contributors are based in England and the US. The book is divided into 3 sections. Part 1 examines theoretical issues and constructs and their relevance to the situation in India. So we have an overview by the editors. This is followed by theoretical issues which are taken up by Professor B.P. Sanjay and Professors Srivastav and Inakshi Roy. They are both Ohio-based. Then we have section 2, which covers specific areas in politics, regulation, governance, education, marketing. And we have chapters written by Professor McDowell, again based in the US. That's on politics and social media. Then we have Shalini and Anand Pradhan have explored new media and socio-political movements. That's become a huge issue ever since certain movements in Delhi, let's say. Then we have a chapter on new media governance and transparency from our colleague at IIT, Professor Vigneshwara. We have regulation of new media, the Indian scenario, by Professor Raka Arya and Mr. Vikramaditya Narayan. Again, these are legal scholars. We have ICT and the Indian education system, challenges by our colleague Dr. Yadav, Anubhuti Yadav at IMC. And lastly, we have a chapter on brand promotion, because branding, marketing is very big on new media. That's by Professor Jayashree Jetwani, against our colleague at IMC. Lastly, we thought this book would not be complete if we didn't make some reference to things, people that are left out, because that is a huge area. So historical exclusions that we have managed to include in this volume are The Digital Divide by Uma Shankar Pandey. Again, income-based, let's say people who are left out based on their income. He's a Kolkata-based scholar. And we have Women and the Internet, again, a reference to gender and problems of denial of access to, of women to new media and censorship, trolling, abuse. This is covered by Geeta Seshu. Unfortunately, she couldn't join us today. She's Mumbai-based. And lastly, we have an interesting chapter on disability and social media, because there's very little work that's happening on how do disabled people use the new media. So that is the broad format of the book. But while we are happy with this, it's really just a start. The canvas is so vast, the need for analytical work so great that so many areas are as yet unexplored. So directions for future research would perhaps include a second volume or many volumes, including areas such as new media, culture, commerce, and many more, caste too. So thank you.
Thank you, Sunitra. I can assure you all, I'm feeling the same as everybody, that everybody now after this wants to lay their hands on the book. All of us are associated, I think almost all from the media. So all students, practitioners and academicians, I'm sure will find the book very interesting. But for that, I would request Honorable Minister Col Rajyavardhan Rathore to please release the book and do the honors for us. We are truly honored with your presence, sir. May I request Ria to come up on the stage and please present a memento to the Honorable Minister. Okay. Sorry, that is human error. Wait, let me just finish with it. We're all humans here, I'm sure that makes a mark. Okay, we are truly honored with your presence, sir. In the society, I would say, especially in the growth of digital India, government is doing a great job with new media and usage of it practically. So it will be great if you can share some thoughts related to governance, also whatever you want to say to us and enlighten us.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Shalini, Mrs. Sunitra. I notice a large number of family members here. When I say family, it's Information Service family actually. A large number of you. I think it's always special to do things in front of the family and have the backing of such members. So thank you all for coming. And just yesterday, in fact, I was going through some of the analysis of what's happening in UP, and they mentioned that only 6% of social media users, especially Twitter, are women. And now we have 2 women who are leading in writing, putting this book together and compilation of everything that's associated with social media. So special congratulations to you to take the lead. To take the lead and be the torchbearers. Wonderful. You know, times have changed so fast in social media. I mean, just a couple of years, I remember that somebody told me you need to open an account. And I had no clue about what Twitter is or what Facebook is. So somebody else opened my account. And for a number of days, I had to actually go back to that person to ask, what's my email ID, what's my ID to open it? And so that was the beginning. And now, in the last decade, the social media has taken over so much that actually it's quite true to say that the next biggest screen is going to be our mobile phones. where everybody is glued onto it, be it information, entertainment, or just interaction with each other, with WhatsApp, with Instagram, and the Facebooks and the Twitter, including the way that we've been consuming information. I think the very fact that you can put your photos, you can put your documents, and you can connect with each other in a far, far superior and an immediate manner. I think that's what makes it so relevant. I think all of you here are probably using social media. And it's very interesting to hear a remark here that when you try and explain that to an elderly person, there's a little bit of disconnect. A lot of some of my senior ministers often tell me, "What are you looking at your phone like a teenager?" And I might not be actually looking at some serious information, but I always look up, put my head up and say, "I'm Information Service Minister." So that gives me a leverage to do anything personal as well. To look into my phone and say, "I'm the Information Broadcasting Minister." I have the liberty of looking at my phone all the time. But I think social media is here to stay, and it's going to grow to the effect that the power of Twitter, Facebook is so much now that the news broadcasters who actually were leading the whole information campaign, if I were to say, now are following social media. The truth which is there in social media is so strong, or the factual information which is there in social media is so strong, that per force the print and the television channels have to follow it. And that's the pressure which happens in the boardrooms in the morning, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock meeting that these channels have, as to what is it that they're going to run in the evening. That is so much dictated by social media now. And in fact, in one of the interactions, I mentioned that these are the days when government or anyone cannot actually hide information. You have to put the information out. In fact, one of the terms that we used was either you share or you die. So if you don't share, it's literally going to be death, because there is going to be information in social media. It may not be true information, it may not be factual information, and therefore you have to put an effort to put the correct information outside. So Twitter is hungry for information, and whether it's false or it's correct, it is hungry for information. The people are going to feed information into it. And so the right thing to do for all government institutions, agencies, is to put out a factual report there, and you cannot hide it any longer. Also, I realize that the government is adapting to the social environment. We've been repeatedly laying emphasis on the social media. We've been having workshops for social media. And that's typically true because government typically is not used to social media. So we've been bringing together the joint secretaries or officers at the lower levels and asking them to realize how important the social media is and how friendly the social media is and how we should all adapt to the social media. We've been holding workshops for photographs because photos speak much louder than words, and you can click a nice picture and put it on the social media. We've invited people from Twitter, we've invited people from Facebook to come and interact with the officers and to make them realize that it is friendly, you just need to adapt to it. Gradually, we do realize that the number of ministries on social media is increasing. Number of ministries on the Facebook is increasing. Nitin is here. He'll probably have the actual factual account of how many ministries are there, but they're gradually on the increase. It's important for the ministries, like I said, to put out the right information. And one of the best ways to connect is on people who are mobile, constantly moving, is to put it on their social media. A large number of people now are reading news on the move. So the newspapers, especially the English newspapers, are having a tough time actually. And tomorrow's world is going to be lesser English newspapers. For some time, the Hindi newspapers are still going to grow. But the consumption of information is going to be on the mobiles. And that's why it needs to be correct information, of course, but it also has to be speedy information. Now, that particular aspect is a little, it's a territory which is not so common or unknown, especially to the government, because government is not in a habit of putting out speedy information. So that's the area that government needs to work on, to be active, to be quick, to respond back quickly, and to go out the information. And so to that extent, INB is doing a good job, and I'm really happy now, because if you see my Twitter account, you'll see me responding at about 1 o'clock in the night. So that's the only time I get. I read that time, and that's the worst time. My wife's giving me all dirty looks, and I'm reading, and it's trying to respond. And so I'm happy that the communications wing, the new media wing that we've handed over to Mr. Narayanan, is in safe hands, because the wife is also actively on Twitter. So to that extent, I'm very happy. But I'm glad that you're having this, you've certainly having this book release, but I'm also glad that you're having a panel discussion after that. We have Mr. Madhavan, who's very active, and one of the interesting things with Twitter especially is that you have very limited words to use, very limited number of characters to use. So the more interesting you make it, the more viral it will become. The more people will spread it. And to that extent, you have to have the gift of the gab, and I think that Mr. Madhavan has it pretty well. You'll be listening to in the panel discussion. And so congratulations once again to all of you to come here today and to put together this book, to both of you, and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was indeed enlightening. And may I now request Ria to please come up and give the memento. This will be followed by a panel discussion, but I think sir is a little too caught up on his work, and thank you so much, sir, for sparing your time.
So you have just laid out the importance of social media. What was the important facts you highlighted?
See, I think a large number of people are connected on social media, be it for their entertainment, information, or personal connect with their friends. The media is growing. It's a method of communicating. And because it's instant, because you can put your photos and documents on it, and because it's largely free, it's working on data. And that's why more and more people are connecting to it. And this is actually allowing the information to spread in a real-time manner. So when there is emergencies, you can use social media. You can, all the information that the news channels are taking, that the print is taking, is largely dependent on what's happening on the social media as well. So it's a very important medium, and this is something that the government of India is adopting. Whether it's mygov.in or whether it's Namo application, the government is actually stepping out to make sure that we are in sync with the changing times and remain connected with the people. So I'm glad that the two ladies here, Shalini and Sunitra ji, have put this book together. It's, I'm sure it's going to be an interesting read and will help people be able to understand the social media much better. देखिए, सोशल मीडिया बहुत तेज़ी से बढ़ रहा है, चाहे आप उसको एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए यूज़ करें या एक अपने दोस्तों के साथ कनेक्शन के लिए यूज़ करें, और ख़ास तौर से आज के ज़माने में जहां हमें रियल टाइम इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए होती है, सोशल मीडिया हमें वो प्रोवाइड करता है। और एक ज़्यादातर सोशल मीडिया डेटा पे चलता है, तो SMS की तरह उस पर हर मैसेज के ऊपर आपको चार्ज भी नहीं लगता, तो उस कारण से सोशल मीडिया बढ़ता जा रहा है, फैल रहा है। और आजकल की जो चैनल्स हैं, जो अखबार हैं, वो सोशल मीडिया पे काफ़ी निर्भर रहते हैं कि किस तरह की वार्ता उस पर हो रही है, किस तरह की बातचीत हो रही है, और सच्चाई को रोकना भी आजकल मुश्किल हो गया है, क्योंकि सोशल मीडिया पे कहीं ना कहीं कोई ना कोई सच ज़रूर बाहर निकलेगा। और इसी कारण से भारत की जो सरकार है, आज की जो सरकार है, मोदी सरकार, उन्होंने बहुत कदम इस तरह से उठाए हैं ताकि आज की जो आज का जो युग है उसके साथ हम कनेक्टेड रहें। और mygov.in है, जिसके अंदर फीडबैक आता है, लोगों का सुझाव आते हैं उसके ऊपर। साथ ही नमो एप्लीकेशन है, जिसके ऊपर सुझाव भी दे सकते हैं और सरकार क्या काम कर रही है उसके ऊपर चर्चा भी हो सकती हैं। इस तरह से सरकार कदम उठा रही है। हर मंत्रालय या तो ट्विटर पर आ रहा है या फेसबुक पे आ रहा है, और इसी कारण से मैं बधाई देना चाहूँगा शालिनी जी को और सुनेत्रा जी को, जिन्होंने एक किताब लिखी ताकि लोगों को सोशल मीडिया को समझने में और आसानी